There we go.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So just to quickly get to my point, that they threw down a crocodile that consumed the snakes of Pharaoh's magicians. And what the magicians said, they said, hold on, wait a minute. They said, this is the finger of God. This miracle, this sign, this wonder was not done by incantation, was not done by charm. This was, in fact, the hands of God. This is beyond theurgy, it was beyond thaumaturgy. This was miraculous. This was the hand of God. Even the magicians understood when they had tapped into the divine realm. And what I was praying over the past week for you all was that you would encounter something that was full of truth. You would encounter something according to the law that that you would have to pause and say, wait a minute, hold on. That wasn't a candle, that wasn't a stick, a stone, a root, or a bone. A little bit of a tight spot here in reception, but just
yes, we lost you for a second.
Hold me for a minute. So what I am so glad to hear is that you all were having these kind of just undeniable miracles, just come through moments through the application of the law. All right. And so the reason why I'm leaning into this is because so many individuals, when we talk about my experience of churchianity, let me be very specific here. My experience of churchianity were individuals who were full of the Holy Ghost, spoke in tongues, cast out devils, laid hands, prayed for hours in the spirit, raised the dead. I mean, I have seen quite a few things in my day. And you know what's interesting? They still had diabetes. They still died from cancer. They had no insurance for their children. And many of them died broken, penniless. What a legacy to leave. That we had to muster. The reason why my community's faith was so strong is because we had these faith everything. We needed a miracle to get our car payment down. We needed a miracle to keep the house. We needed a miracle to get out of our sick mix. We won't eat right. We were on a lifeline of miracle. Now, why were we on a lifeline of miracle? For one key reason. Number one, we invested more time in preaching than teaching, which meant that we had a deep love for the person of Jesus, but an absolute ignorance of the principles of Jesus. I said that again. I'm some people way in the back. We had a love for the person of Jesus, but an ignorance of his principles. So much so Jesus said, how is it that the children of this world, the children of darkness, are wiser than the children of light? He said, for behold, we played to you a dirge. In other words, we played to you a song, and you did not dance. Now, the children of the world, they know how to dance in the marketplace. Listen, I cannot tell you how many times, how many mothers in the church were binding and loosing demons here and there because they had co-signed on someone else's horrible credit. So now their credit is bound up. They're come knocking at their door. They're binding and loosing, going a 5-day fast. Love Jesus, but did not understand the principle. Solomon said, do not put yourself up as surety for another man. You just don't do that. It's just not wise counsel. Why am I bringing this up here? Because I have a long issue with why I was seeing this and why I was not seeing it in other demographics. Were there systemic issues? Absolutely. We'd be a fool to say otherwise. Were there institutional issues? Absolutely. We'd be a fool to say otherwise. but there was also some principle deficits. We didn't have certain principles. We weren't taught certain laws. I'm talking about certain spiritual laws, certain social laws, certain energetic laws. It don't matter if you speak in tongues, you blue in the face. If you, the Muslim, and the atheist jump off a cliff, the odds that you're gonna be saved are highly unlikely. There's a law at work. There's a law at work. So as I'm hearing all of these testimonies, as I'm hearing all of these aha moments, as I'm hearing all of these life-changing experiences that are all happening just by application of the law.
Yep.
Proper application of the law. This is so critical.
Sorry, Prophet. So I wanted to share with you and publicly here with everybody else the fact that a lot of the girlies, they got insurance for themselves and them children's life insurance this week. And I know because we shared on the WhatsApp group that they did it because because of what we've been teaching them throughout this Mastermind Monday. It kind of like allowed them to step aside from the scarcity mindset and fear and say, yes, this is an important step. This is part of the legacy that I'm leaving for my children. So some of the girlies this week, they got their life insurance. And I'm very proud of them. I'm extremely proud of them. I'm like super excited for them too.
And their future thanks them. Your future thanks you. And when I say future, I don't just mean it's some, nebulous, imaginary, idyllic scene future. I mean, literally, tomorrow thanks you. Next week thanks you. Next month thanks you. Your posterity, your legacy thanks you. This is one of the epitomes of wisdom. The scripture says that a wise man, a prudent man, leaves an inheritance for his children's children.
Yes, and
his
yes.
children's children. The wise leave something for their grandchildren. The grandchildren. Now, I'm bringing this up for a very specific reason. The scriptures remind us that if you be willing and obedient, you will eat the good of the land. You'll eat the good of the land. If you're willing and if you're obedient to the law, you will eat the good of the land. That's a promise. And sometimes we can see the good of the land. We can smell the good of the land. We can hear reports that there is good in the land, and yet we refuse to be willing, number one, and obedient. If you're willing and obedient, you shall eat the good of the land. There's also an opposite trope given in scripture that says that the rebellious dwell in a dry land. Right, that's Psalm 66. The Lord sets the solitary in families, which is why I was absolutely ecstatic when Rachel gave me the invitation to speak with you all at the level of intimacy I'm able to, because God will set the solitary in families. And no doubt, this has certainly felt like a family to me. But the ending part of that verse is not only will he set the solitary in families, but the rebellious dwell in a dry land. When you apply the law properly, when you obey the law properly, the lands that you might have existed in with, spiritual, metaphorical, let's just use that term here, the dryness of that land, the barrenness of that land will begin to reverse. You start seeing abundance, you start seeing prosperity, you start seeing increase wherever you go. All right. Now, I'll give it to you this way. The book of Job puts it this way. It says that if you obey him, you will spend your years in prosperity and your days in pleasure.
Mm.
Your years in prosperity and your days in pleasure. If you obey. Yeah. This is exactly why. One of the reasons. This is certainly one of the reasons. We see individuals who ain't got no kind of fear of God in them, recognizing it. But they have a reverence for certain laws, certain principles of life and life engagement. Okay. So I'm saying that to highlight the point that it's no respecter of persons. It's no respecter of persons. Doesn't matter, didn't care who you are, what you are, where you came from. The law is the law.
So that will, that will answer the $1 million question. Why does the rich get richer and the poor get poorer? It has nothing to do with being a good or bad person. It has everything to do with the law.
Now, here's why this is powerful. And I'm saying this because I'm speaking to a mostly melanin rich community. Hear me very carefully when I say this. Be very careful when I say this. The principles that we're discussing, all right, God's universal law of attraction, et cetera, and so forth, the principles he set in place. I want you to understand something. This will work for your individual liberation. Your individual liberation. Okay. Now, why am I making that distinction? Because when you move out from the individual, there are larger forces that are at work that come to bear to explain. There are institutional forces, there are systemic and societal forces, etc. So it's very difficult to take this and immediately free a people group, but you can liberate individuals. And when one person is liberated, they can liberate another, and another, and another, and another, and another, and another, and another. Let me tell you the truth. The truth is that more than you telling people about what you're discovering and what you're experiencing throughout these sessions, what it's really preaching, the true evangelism of this, are in the signs and the wonders that you're living. Paul called it becoming a living epistle, a living book. I mean, even if we don't open up your mouth and talk to anyone about it, people will say, "What's something different about you? What's new? What's new?" You won't have to look for an opportunity to have this kind of discussions. Because a lot of you I know, like, how am I introduced to my children, to my family, to my friends, to my cousin? How am I going to have these kind of conversations? And the way that you have a conversation is by first having a conversion. When your life is converted, that becomes a conversation. People are already talking about you. Did you see what she wrote here? Yeah. Did you see what she just put on? Yeah, I did. Well, where she get? She must be dating somebody. I don't know where she afforded it. When you are in conversion, the conversation will find you. Even if people have to show up late at night, like they did with Nicodemus and Jesus, and come by night and ask questions, people will find you. There is such a drastic, sharp shift and change, not only in your experience, which is great, but in your perception and the way that you view things. That's going to be the most eye-opening to people. You don't even think the same way. You're going to find that people that used to be able to complete your sentences are now at a loss of what you're about to say. Because you're in a very different place. Now, Speaking of headspace, I want to hear you all home from you.
Can you repeat the last thing you said? I'm sorry.
Sure, I'm almost off. I said I want to hear you all's homework from you, from your mouth. I want to hear you all's homework. I would like to hear it affirmatively. So your homework was one of the homework was to go to the dictionary and the word that you wanted to be um, associated with your life, to write them down and begin to affirm them daily. So I want to hear that. I want to hear I am amazing, I am beautiful, I am caring, whatever.
Okay, I'm gonna lead by example. So I broke my name, Grecia, and I started to add, I got a dictionary from my neighbor downstairs. I didn't have to go dictionary shopping because she had extra dictionaries. It was cute because I sat with my children, and they got little words for their names as well, and I got a little bit more for mine. So I broke it like G and all the words with G, R, all the words with R, E, all the words with E. So I'm just gonna say a few. Um, and then from that I can create my own affirmations. From that I can create my own affirmations. So um I just realized that I missed the C. But anyway, I'm gonna do the C. That's homework for next week. So let's go. So G, I put grace, giant, gifted, goddess, gnosis, and gratitude. R, regal, radiant, royal, remarkable, real, relaxed, respected, respectful, responsible, rich, righteous, romantic. E, energetic, empowering, eye-catching, exquisite, exotic, excellent, enchanting.
All right. So
Sorry, can you guys be back?
yes, I hear you.
Okay. For C, I can just put caring. And a few more, but I left the C out. Sorry. I missed the C.
No,
For for I,
beautiful.
I put, for I put iconic, imaginative, illuminator, impress, improve. And A, I put able, absolute, accrete. That was a new word that I found. I have to find it so I can read you guys the meaning, because I was like, oh, I like this word. And I'm like, how come I never knew about this damn word? I'm sorry, but I'm like, how come I never knew about this word? Accrete. Let me read to you what it means right now. Mhm. Um, okay, you uh uh, mm, my daughter was like, it was my daughter's first time dealing with a dictionary. She was so overwhelmed. I'm like, it's okay, baby. You got this. We can do it together. Let's go. She was not having it in the beginning. Like, this is a lot of words. I don't understand it. Okay, so accrete. 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 So from creting, cretes. To make larger or greater. To make larger or greater. As by increased growth. To grow together, fuse. To grow or increase gradually. As by addition. Accrete. Yes. So I put able, absolute, accrete. I have to find more. But I love the accrete and I thought it had a lot of weight to it. So I'm like, that one alone is a lot. So because it's, to grow gradually, growth, make larger, increase, greater. Love it.
Love it, love it, love it. Let's go back over what you put for G. I wanted to highlight a few things here.
G, yeah. For G, I put grace, giant, gifted, goddess, gnosis, and gratitude.
Okay, so I think you say grace.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here's what I want you to think. I want you to think um, in the adjective.
Okay.
I want you to think in the adjective, because remember, you're going to put this behind I am.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I am graceful.
I am graceful. Yep.
And what was I again? I made a mental note about I.
I put iconic, imaginative, illuminator, impressed.
Illuminator. That's what it is. Let's bring that
Okay.
to an adjective. I am illuminating. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I also want this you all to make a note of this. I want all of you to consider this, looking for adjectives, because you're going to put the power of I am behind that.
Okay.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Who else
Thank
is
you.
next? What did you, well, before I get to the next person, let me ask this question. What was this process like for you? What did,
Somebody want to talk?
To me, it was fun. For me, it was a little fun because it took me back to my childhood. Like I'm back in school, and I was always a nerd, so it brought back a nice nostalgia. I was getting nostalgic, basically.
Yes. Yes. Same. It was very it was fun because it's like it took me back to school, so it was kind of like a play with my inner child a little bit, because like back in school looking for little meanings and stuff like that was cute. um and then it made me exercise patience, because I had to be very patient to deal with my daughter's frustration of not understanding the dictionary, and being patient enough to explain to her how to work alongside with her, and kind of like help her overcome the fear of the overwhelm, because when she saw so many letters are so small, it overwhelmed her. It's like, whoa, this is a lot. And then she's seeing the thickness of the book. Oh, this is a lot. So it kind of like but I had to like work through it with her, and by the end she was good.
that's some very powerful reframing. It's a lot of powerful reframing, just even looking at the thickness of the book. And I want to encourage all of you, this is really what we've been in the past few Mondays, but reframing the way that we look at something. Because oftentimes we defeat ourselves before we ever get started. You know, I'll give this antidote. And we'll pass to the next person. So this earlier today, I was preparing to go see a friend, and as I was looking out my kitchen window over the sink, I leaned into something spiritually, and I got an instruction for myself, number one, and also for my goddaughter. So I reached out to her about it, and she kept asking questions. She kept asking questions, which is wonderful. You want to question, but then I said, I don't have any more answers for you. I don't have any more answers for you. I said, because sometimes we ask enough questions so that it's easier for us to say no to our future.
Mm.
That sounds like too much work already. That's why we ask a lot of questions. We've already decided to say no. We now just want more information to justify why we can and should say no. So I said, you don't know what the future holds. I said, just say yes, because I'm not going to give you all of the details right now. I'm only going to give you step number one. If I give you step number 8, I go, Chad, there's too much, there's too many steps already if I get there. And you already had to know. All right. So just some things that's been playing out in my mind as you were saying that about just rephrasing and reframing her perspective of the dictionary, whether the size of the font, the thickness of the book, etc. All right. Our next person, come on, be loud and proud.
Can I go?
Go ahead.
Okay, so my name is Akisha. So I found some different words. Okay. So the first word that I came up with, the letter A, was a vampire. I hope I'm saying it correctly because I tried to use this. I tried to read how to say the word, but apparently a vampire is the CGS electromagnetic unit of electric current equal to 10 amperes. CGS electromagnetic is a term that means the force between two parallel conductors when each is carrying a current. So I feel like that's another way of saying attraction.
Mm.
Attraction.
Magnetism, yeah.
There we go. Okay. Let me see. Abound, which means to be abundant, able-bodied, which is robust and in good health, absolute, whole, complete, and pure, absolved, to be set free, acclaim, acute, affect, which means to make an impression, affinity, a strong liking or attraction between two people or an attraction between elements which cause them to combine with each other. Affirm or affirmation. What is this now? Ageless, agree, ascent, rising from a lower degree or level. Kama, the Hindu god of erotic love. Kami, a sacred power, which is related to a Japanese deity. Kindness and kindred. King. Let me see. I for Ibu, I hope I said that correctly, a member of Southeast Nigeria. Idea, a mental image or conception. Immense, imperious, impervious, which means impenetrable. Impressive, making a strong impression, especially arousing adoration, admiration, and awe. Illustrious, immaculate. H for haven. Let me see. Basically, it means a refuge. Handful, as much as the hands will hold. Hale, physically sound and well. Habitable, halo.
Hail as in HALE.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Or Hallie. Did I say it
No,
properly?
no,
Yeah.
you're right. Hail. Yeah, yeah.
Hail. Okay. Halo, a disk of diffused light surrounding the sun or moon. Happy, harbinger, a person, object, or event heralding the future. Um, hard, so meaning solid. Harmony. Um, what else? Headman, chief or person in authority. Healthy and health. Let me see. I got heartbeat. Heaven, the upper region regarded as the abode of the deities and of the blessed. I put
Lovely.
hex because it means witch. Her means possession. Hero. No, sorry, Hyro. Hyru. Hero. It's Hyru. And it's a priest, she's a priestess of Aphrodite. And then A again, meaning awesome, amazing, accepted, and allowed.
Now, I want you to go back through this,
Okay.
and I want you, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to go, and everyone else is listening here. We're just saying coaching on the spot here is just what we do. Um, do you mind if I coach you a little bit?
Oh, go ahead. With
All right.
pleasure.
All right. So I'm gonna make a few suggestions here. I want you to go back through this, and I want you to take either um, colored highlighters or colored ink pens or whatever would be appropriate based upon how you wrote these things down. And I want you to color code them based upon parts of speech. And specifically, I want you to highlight the adjectives. You don't do this right here, right now, but I'm just giving you something. I
Right.
want you to highlight the adjectives, right? Because the adjectives allows you to apply the force of I am behind it. That's number
Okay.
one. Number two, all right, I want you to affirm these. And number three, I want you to give a reason. We talked about before about the power of because. So number two and number three, we can join together. Right. Number two being to affirm, number three, to give a reason. We can do this together by affirming in this way. I am Akeisha because I am amazing. Whatever, 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 whatever.
Okay.
Right. And so what I like to do is add an I am at the beginning of every new letter. Right.
Okay.
I am amazing, such and such and so and so and so and so and so and so. I, because I am kind and so and so and so and so. Because I am innovative, and on and on and on for the remaining letters. Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay. I will do that.
All right. And you're going to find that as you
Thank you.
lean into this, well, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for allowing me to coach you in the process. As you do this, you're going to find a sense of flow that happens, not just in how you speak, but also in how you conceptualize this. When you're standing in the mirror looking at yourself about to encounter your day, your decree is, I am Akeisha, right? Nothing in you disagrees with that so far. You begin with something positive, thing that you already know to be true. I am Akeisha. Am I saying your name right?
Yes, Akeisha.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Same way as with Gracia. I am Gracia. And the question may be, why are you Gracia? I am Gracia because I am gracious,
Mm,
resolute, incredible,
mm,
charismatic, innovative, and awesome.
perfect.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, come on, come on, come on. Who else?
Come on, to the radio.
And you all can even begin to start practicing here before us by phrasing your affirmation that way, right? I am so and so because I am first letter in the series of those words, because I am second letter in the series of those words, and so forth.
Izzy, it's your turn.
Wait, whose turn is it now?
Sorry, I didn't see your hand, Denise. You can go.
No, because I think Sparkle was gonna speak earlier, but I'm not sure if she's ready. I don't want to cut in line.
My mic was type messed up, but I'm gonna let you go first because now he got me researching and thinking.
All right, Mama. Okay, so a few of them when I was doing the exercise earlier, a few of them I did because of the definition for each word, I did expand a little bit, beyond just the word. So like for instance, for a D, I put delicate because I feel like even though I feel feminine, I don't come across as feminine to people. And I've always wanted to be just a little bit more delicate to, embrace my femininity, I guess. Daring. I put devout because I am devout to myself first and foremost. For E, I put okay, so let's phrase it. I am Denise because I am excessive in abundance. I am Denise because I am elected by the powers that guide me to break generational curses. For N, I actually found a new word that I had never seen before. I think it's pronounced nascent, Nascent, and it means starting to show future potential and full of promise.
Full of promise. That's very true.
I also put necessary because I feel like I am necessary in my community. I put natural in gifts and talents. I am nimble because my work moves quickly and with ease. I put I am intuitive because I always have been. I've always, in my older years, have a lot of self-doubt with my gifts, and looking back, I've always had the gifts. So who am I to say that I'm not? And for S, I put strength, serenity, safe space, because I want to offer that not only to myself and my family, but the people in my community. And the last one I put for S is I am satisfaction, because at the end of my journey in this life, I want to be satisfied with everything that I've done for myself and my loved ones.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Thank you.
And I would add just the same thing I've said before. You know, highlight, prioritize those adjectives. Second thing I would say is if you have not written down what you just said to us of your explanation as to the because as you were expounding, it was reinforcing the affirmation. It was very powerful.
Yes, that's what I realized,
powerful.
because we pick words, but then the fact that we had the dictionary and seeing the meaning, it helps us to attach ourselves to the meaning of the word and to find the meaning of that word in our life and what we want out of life, if that makes sense.
It makes incredible sense. There is something here I want to lean in with you on, which is reinforcing these affirmations using the same adjectives and your trust of them, right? So, for example, you mentioned, I believe it was, I am intuitive or intuition. Was that not one of your words?
Yes, it was. Yes.
It was. Okay. I am intuitive, right? I am Denise because I am intuitive and I trust my intuition.
Okay.
I am Denise because I am necessary and I trust my necessity.
Okay.
These are not necessarily things that slap onto your affirmations, but these things I want you to consider, right? as you're leaning into these, as you are affirming these. Because here's what we're doing: we are wanting to impress the subconscious. We're wanting to impress the subconscious. And when you give the subconscious a reason, it latches on to that. How many times have we told our children or someone who's under our authority to do something, and they're like, well, why?
My son does it all the time.
That's
And
because
I'm
your
at the
son is a
point now,
micro
like
genius.
I give him a reason. I'm like, okay, you want to know why? Here's the reason why, even if it
Right.
doesn't make sense to him.
Powerful, powerful, powerful. Just some thoughts. Just some thoughts. I am Denise because wow and wow. I love it. Denise, you get to
Thank you,
choose the next
Prophet.
person. Thank you.
Sure. Who's next, y'all? Who wants to go next? Me ladies, or let me see. Yeah, me ladies.
But yeah, I'm learning. I don't want to jump into that.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna go.
Dale, go ahead.
So
Oh, wait,
my
let me
real
put my
name,
hand down.
so my real name is Destiny. So I don't have a dictionary. So you know what I did? I went on Google and I basically searched up like adjectives and like different positive words for each of my name. So I'm gonna start with D. So like Cosmic said, I am Destiny because I said daring, delightful, divine. And then, I stopped right there because I'm like, I don't know what else. So now for E, I put exalted. And I really like that one because I'm like, when I Googled it, it was saying it's of a person and their rank status. So basically someone who is um a powerful level. They held in high regard. And I put elevated. For S, I put successful, strong, smart, and stunning. For T, I put talented, trustworthy, and triumph. For I put inspiring, intuitive, iconic. For N, I put nice and nurturing. For Y, it's so hard to find like stuff for Y, so I put youthful and young looking.
Fantastic. Don't drop the mic. Pass it. Who's next? You gotta choose somebody. We do this in my studies all the time. The person who has the mic, you have an obligation not to drop the mic, but pass it. So pick somebody.
Tatiana has her hand up, Prophet.
All right, come on, speak up, speak out.
Hello, everyone. Quick, I have Tatiana. Talented, tasty, tender, tenacious, thoughtful. Adventurous, authentic, awesome, affable. I'm sorry about my pronunciation. Another T. Teachable, terrific, thankful. I, incomparable, interconnected, invincible, impartial. Another A. Abundant, adorable, attentive, accomplished. N. Noble, nurturing, notable, novel. A. Accurate, adaptive, no, sorry, adaptive, amazing, angelic, athletic.
Wow and wow. Thank you for that. And I would say two things that I really found very powerful in your share. was you're mentioning I am Tatiana because I am invincible. I am Tatiana because I am novel. I think it's very powerful. And I trust in my invincibility and I trust in my novelty. I love it. Who are you passing the mic to?
Thank you so much. Who wants to go next? Janet, here? Yes.
Now don't leave Tatiana holding the mic.
Vanessa. Amika.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Um, Give me 1 second. Okay. I am Tamika because I am tenacious. I am affluent in every area of my life. I am masterful in all my skills and talents. I am innately talented, skilled, and wealthy. I am knowledgeable in all that I do, and I am abundant in every area of my life.
Yes, that was thorough. That, like, it covered everything. But I don't know what Cosmic, if Cosmic want to add something. But that was good. Who's next in the meantime?
Wasn't here last week, but so I'll go next. I kind of
Okay.
did something really quick. So I am Marisa. I am Marisa because I am magnificent, awesome, radiant, invincible, stunning, and amazing. I am Marisa.
Well, I'm convinced. That's what I am. I'm convinced. Thank you so much for that share. That was powerful. That was powerful. Can we get two more people? I feel like if I don't put a limit,
This
people
is
gonna keep.
yeah.
Good.
This is Ajere. I'll go next.
Okay.
I am Ajere because I am admirable in my actions. I am Ajere because I'm zealous in the execution of my goals. I am Ajere because I am unique and I trust my uniqueness. I am Ajere because I am radiating self-love. I am Ajere because I'm elevating spiritually. I am Ajere because I'm excelling financially.
Well, I got quickened. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm glad you're Azure. Doggone it. I tell you what, I'm glad. That made me feel wonderful. I'm glad to know you. I feel like at this point in the game, you all will stop wielding your names as just some blanket statement placed upon you at birth and begin to wield your names as blessings. Did you hear what I said? Wielding your name as blessing. That every time your name is I'm going there today. Every time your name is connected with something, someone, somewhere, somehow, and a some when, it is a blessing connected to that. So any and every time the question should ever arise in you, well, who am I? Now you know. Who am I not to travel? Who am I to get this position? Who am I to drive this? Who am I to live here? Well, now you know. You know,
That
you
is
know
some powerful
exactly
stuff. That
who
is some
you are.
powerful stuff. Because when the self-doubt cripples, because it cripples sometimes, you know? So when the self-doubt cripples and the self-doubt say, who you think you are? I can be like, I am Gracia because I am gifted, I am gracious, and I operate in gratitude. Okay?
I'm telling you. And
I
when
am
people
so
sit at your
beautiful.
desk and they sit at your table or they ask you, and let me tell you something. When someone now asks you who you are, you have a valid response. It is not just your name. I give you an example of what I mean. You sit down, me and Grisha are going out to dinner, we're dating or whatever the case may be, and I said, well, how are you? Who are you? Not only is it I'm Gracia, but I'm Gracia because.
Hello now. Put some respect on my name.
Put some, and you've got to start doing that yourself first, putting some respect on your own name. That way you can turn it around and say, and who are you sitting across from me? And when they say, well, my name is Jeff, ask them why. that's a great, that's a great icebreaker. What's your because? What's your
Yes.
because? So powerful. One more person.
Can I go?
Of course.
Absolutely.
I am Onisika because I am observant. I am outstanding. I am outgoing. I am open-hearted and open-minded. I am Onisika because I am noble, necessary, nice, notorious, and numerous. I am Onisika because I am impressive and inspiring. I am Onisika because I am stunning, successful, strength, serenity, and satisfaction. I am Onisika because I am insightful and intuitive. I am Onisika because I am knowledgeable, kind, and kudos. I am Onisika because I am adequate, ageless, ancestral, and abundant.
Wow and wow. And listen, if y'all ever have to, you know, out of the blue and for unexpected reasons, ever have to do stand-up poetry, now y'all have a quick place to start. I love it. I love it. I love it. Who knows? You might listen.
Yes.
Your next date may be at a poetry bar. Um, I want to lean into something here. What were you all's experiences not only hearing what the homework was, but approaching it. When you opened up the dictionary and looking at your name and applying new layers, fresh layers of meaning, or you might look at it as uncovering layers of meaning in your name. What was that process like for you? Anyone want to share?
Ladies, can I share as I'm doing it now? My name starts with an M, and I chose magnetic, manifestor, and metaphysical. And when you just said what connections or what do you see, these are things that I am doing right now, like manifesting and being into metaphysical stuff. So just off my first letter, I'm like, whoa.
Wow, wow.
When I was doing the assignment, um, I felt determined. Uh, because I felt like it was getting an understanding to my name and who I am. So I felt determined looking for the words, and I like with every letter, I went through as many pages as I could. This is a large book. So I went through as many pages and I went down all the lines, like word for word, um, and reading out their meanings and things like that. So I was happy to find words that I didn't know, like abound. What is it? Abound. I didn't know abound was part of the word abundance. So um I was really happy to find some words that had a meaning um that I didn't know exist.
Thank you for sharing. Anyone else?
Me, um, fun fact, my mother did not give me my name. It was my father. And he actually dreamed my name before he found out my mom was pregnant with me. And as I was going through the exercise and everything, it brought back memories of how I used to kind of complain, like, why did he give me this name? It doesn't sound right. It doesn't roll off the tongue right. And she goes, listen, your father gave you that name for a reason. Accept it. Her tone at the time was more like, that's your name, shut up, deal with it. But after going through the dictionary and doing the assignment, now I understand why he gave me that name. So now I am fully accepting of my name.
Press the wrong button. They're powerful. And moreover, if he got in a dream, who's to say that you didn't give him the name before your coming? And wow and wow. That's interesting. That's really interesting. And thank you for that very fun fact, very functional fact, actually. Because as I'm hearing this and I'm considering this, I think about the phrase, you may not be able to decide or you might not be able to help what hand you were dealt, but you can decide how you play that hand. And so, whereas we may not had a hand in what name we were given, we can effectively change how we play that name, what we associate with ourselves, with our sense of identity, and ultimately with our future and our experience. We started, and we not we started, we ended last week in Florence Scovel Shin. And we ended with your word is your wand.
Just a reminder real quick for everybody. Next week is the last week that we're going to have it like back-to-back Mastermind Mondays. After next week, we're just going to be having the Mastermind meeting once a month. But I mean, there is a lot that you guys we all have to process, and a lot that we have to work with the classes that we have so far. Every single class have been posted on the Patreon, so you can go back and rewatch them. But just letting you guys know, next week is the last Monday, and then once a month.
Thank you. We want to give you all time to put this to work put this in action. We're not gonna just leave you there. We're gonna come back once a month, do some check-ins, do some checkups, do a little bit of coaching, some diagnostics, some sharing, and we definitely want to hold this space accountable. And I think it's a great way to do that without, giving just oversaturation at a certain point just becomes too much. So thank you for that reminder. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really going to look forward to being regular with you all monthly. All right, let me check my notes here.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hello. Can I read off mine?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So I said, I am Tia. I am talented. I am thrilling. I am teachable. I am impressive, influential, improving. I am affectionate, attractive, and amazing. And I had learned from all of these. Well, when I first looked them up, I just felt an attraction to all these words, not knowing that this is like I will be defining myself with these words.
Wow. And be defined by them, right? Let that be our challenge. To define ourselves by these, to be defined by them, to be refined by them. Wow. In chapter 2, those of you who have this either soft copy or hard copy, your word is your wand. Chapter 2 deals with success. Deals with success. She says there are certain words or pictures which impress the subconscious mind. This is why we're going through the dictionary. There are certain words that as you went over them, they all begin with the same letter. But there are certain ones that quickened your subconscious. You felt a kindred relationship with them, either already existing or desiring. You desired a relationship with this kind of experience. Or this was an experience that you had already had or currently are having, and you want to cement it and fortify it. So you put those words with your name. There are certain words or pictures which impress the subconscious mind. For example, she gives, a man called asking me to speak the word for his right work. I gave him this statement, quote, behold, I've set before thee the open door of destiny, and no man shall shut it. It didn't seem to make it didn't seem to make much impressions. So I was inspired to add, and no man shall shut it, for it is nailed back. So the statement that she gave him was, behold, I have set before thee the open door of destiny, and no man shall shut it, for it is nailed back. Now I want you to notice something. Notice how there is a reason given. Even when we were affirming, there was a reason given. I am because. And no man shall shut it, for it is nailed back. The man was electrified and went out walking on air. Within a few weeks, he was called to a distant city to fill a wonderful position, which came about in a miraculous way. I give another example of a woman who fearlessly followed a hunch. She was working from a small salary when she read my book, The Game of Life and How to Play It. The thought came in a flash to start in business for herself and open a tea room and candy shop. The idea staggered her at first, but it persisted. So she boldly went forth and procured a shop and assistants. She spoke the word for supply, for she did not have money to back her enterprise. It came in miraculous ways, and the shop opened. From the first day, it was filled with people, and now it is crammed and jammed. We're back at that again. They stand in line and wait. Is that not how you want to see your business, your endeavors, your enterprises? I mean, jammed and crammed with customers and clients? One day, being a holiday, her assistants became gloomy and they said they could not expect to do much business. My student, however, replied that God was her supply and every day was a good day. In the afternoon, an old friend came in to see the shop and bought a 2-pound box of candy. He gave her a check, and when she looked at it, she found it was for $100. So it was indeed a good day. $100 for a box of candy. She says every morning she enters the shop with wonder and gives thanks that she had the faithless, excuse me, that she had the fearless faith that wins. Let me share a personal example. When I was studying under my godmother, beloved Victoria, she owned, of course, the spiritual shop called Seven Rays, 3701 North Main Street, Columbia, South Carolina. She was one of, um, or I would say singularly, the spearhead for the spiritual revitalizing of the city, right? She would have these, she'd put on these festivals that she called Festivals of Light, where people from around the area would come and showcase their talents. Of course, she had readers, she had lecturers, she had various services, body work, the whole shebang. And so, as I started studying with her, whenever we would go to visit her shop, Seven Rays, even though her daughter, was kind of the behind the desk person, she was still, of course, owner and general manager. So she would handle the money. And so she said that she would come in every morning, replace the bills and all that. And she would speak as she was counting the money, as it was passing through her fingers. She would speak to the money. And she would say, be fruitful and multiply. Replenish the earth and return to me. Be fruitful and multiply. Replenish the earth and return to me. Let me give you one of the biggest mistakes that we make when it comes to language about our money. Let me give you an offensive word to money. Let me give you profanity. Words that money considers vulgar, that we use all the time. There are certain cuss words you might say. I really want you to label this in your vocabulary as a no-no, as a taboo, as profanity. But we used it all the time. I even have to catch myself with this. And that is, we use the S word. as it pertains to our money. Who can tell me what that foul S word is that pertains to our money we should not be using?
Is it saving?
No.
Or
Close. 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 That needs to be on the top of the list, though, doesn't it? Because even people who never mention saving money mention this other S word. Everyone throw a guess at it? The chat. Well, don't leave
Spent.
us this. Oh my! Excuse me. It's watch your mouth around here. Hold on. Money loves me. We don't use this kind of language around here. Gotta hide my wallet from you. Goodness gracious. But yes, you're absolutely right. This is
Wait,
a
I missed that
word.
profanity. I missed the profanity. What happened?
Well, she said it, not me, Rachel. So if you want to
Oh,
throw something, she said, had the gumption, come on here. And we recorded too. Children gonna hear this. And she said,
uh-uh.
she said,
She said it. Let's
with
see.
gumption at that. I said, look, goodness, child. I thought the
Uh-uh.
sailors were bad. I thought the sailors were bad, but
She had a
uh,
potty mouth.
ain't it?
Potty mouth.
This is language you do not want to use. In fact, let's look up this word in the dictionary and let's find synonyms for it and let's find um, the etymology. I want a definition, the synonyms, and the etymology. Some folk are still stuck in, wait a minute, I can't use this word. No, you can't use this word. You can't use this word anymore. And you're gonna find out why in just a moment.
Hi, Mama.
I know why now.
See there? Well,
Use
let us
up,
all know.
pay out, use up, and past time.
Mama.
Pay out money. Yeah. Use up.
Wow. It means to use up. Now that don't sound offensive. If you were out on the first date and the person that was sitting across from you said, "My God, you look amazing. I can't wait to just use you right on up." And you'd be like, huh? Creepy much?
No. I
Make, make me feel a little uncomfortable. You be texting somebody already. It's like in 5 minutes, call me. In 5 minutes, call me. Time to end this date. Anyone else want to share what they found out about the naughty naughty? Drain. Wow. Exhaust. Did she say deprive oneself?
Yeah, I was about to say that. Deprive oneself of wealth and money, middle income.
One of the synonyms was waste. Oh my goodness. I'm just shaking over here. Use up, lose, run through. Oh my, yeah, that would be. Come on now, ladies, tell the truth. That's fighting words right there. Run through. Let's be honest.
Yeah, if someone told me I was ran through, I'd be in jail. That's not even a lie. Call me ran through. Okay, I'm gonna shut up.
Dispose of. You tell them they're disposable. To throw away. My goodness. My goodness. But we want a healthy relationship with money, and using these kinds of terms, applying that. I mean, thank goodness we didn't know any better, you know. But could it be our money is in jail because we said to her that she was ran through? Could it be our money is retaliating from all these fighting words? We've been so verbally violent, verbally abusive to a relationship that we want to cultivate. Let me get back to my notes, shuffle. They start throwing stones at me. Okay. Where was I
Ooh,
at here?
I feel like an abusive husband now. I feel like I violated my honey. You know?
But then want her to keep the roof over our head, and then want her to make sure that we got food in the house and nice clothes on our back and something nice to wear. But all the while we talking about her in this way. Can't bring up her name, but I'll talk about how ran through she is.
Oh snap. Deliver me.
So I want to suggest an alternative. Because the two things anyone really needs coaching around is language and time management. That's really about it. Language and time management. Let me offer some suggestions. The brother already put it here just a moment ago, which is investing. I want to give you another one too. Which is circulate. Circulate. I'll do even one better, especially those of you who are aspiring as entrepreneurs, business owners, and that is to do business. I did business with such and so forth. Just whatever you do, please don't use the S word. Because here's the beautiful thing about circulating your money versus what we're looking at: waste, and squander, and throw away, and dispose, and dissipate, and use up, and lose, and drain, and waste, and exhaust, and deprive oneself. Goodness gracious. Is that it's gone. Once it is sent out, it never returns back. it deteriorates, it breaks down, it dissipates, it vanishes. But when you say it's circulating, that means it's always on its way back. It's circulating. I do business with. I did some business in Target, or I did some business with this particular company, whatever the brand is. I circulated my money with so and so and such and such. I invested in. Listen to me, listen to me. The decks are now cleared for divine action, and my own comes to me under grace in a miraculous way. My own comes to me. It's one other thing that my godmother would say. My own comes to me in divine order and in divine time. How about I now let go, I now release worn out conditions and worn out things. One of the most powerful affirmations. Not I had to buy, I chose to buy. I chose to do business with. I chose to invest in this. All right. Now that you have an understanding of what kinds of words and what frequency of words to avoid, this now opens up the possibilities. I mean, you know, you've got the dictionary at your fingertips. Find a word that you like that really conveys what you want and how you want money to behave with you and around you. One of the interesting things that my godmother would do, those of you who may not be familiar with the religious activity of the I am religious activity of beloved Saint Germain, which was what my godmother was a part of. She actually was a sponsor of one of the what they call them. Oh my goodness, I can't think of the name right now, but she was one of the sponsors here in Colombia. And that group of people is a decreeing people. It's literally what they do. They just decree, 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 decree. Okay. And so this would really taught me the power of decreeing. Not just affirming something, but decreeing it as so. I let go of worn out conditions and worn out things. One of the decrees that she would say that was so powerful, I use this to this day, even over candles. She would say about anything or anyone, Lord, or she would call to the violent flame, clean them up or clean them out. Let me say that again. Decree, clean them up or clean them out.
That remind me of my mom. My mom, light and progress to her spirit, she used to pray in Spanish, as she used to say, ilumínalos o elimínalos. So illuminate them or eliminate them.
Oh!
Every time. That was a declaration for my mother. And if it's something I can tell you about my mother, she never had no fake motherfuckers around her, ever. Because that was a constant declaration of hers. And a lot of people fell off. They fell through because they couldn't stand her declaration. Their spirit couldn't stand her declaration. She used to say it. God, illuminate them or eliminate them. So if they resist the illumination, they were eliminated.
They were eliminated.
Yep. Yep.
Now that's a little tip for the conjure folk in here. We'll have to come back to that another time. We're just dealing with conjure and magical practice, but this is a bridge into all of these worlds, right? The power of decree. She goes on to say, not only is the deck cleared for divine action, and my own comes to me under grace in a miraculous way. I'm just giving a few affirmations, things for you to consider. I now let go of worn out conditions and worn out things. Some of you are wondering, how am I going to get out of this and how am I going to get out of that? It could be you need to let it go in your energy. Remember, we touch things with our hand, but we hold them in our mind. So consider that as you're making your decrees. Behold, I make all things new. Divine order is established in my mind, body, and affairs. Divine order is established in my mind, body, and affairs. Divine order is established in my mind, body, and affairs. My seeming impossible good now comes to pass. The unexpected now happens. My seeming impossible good now comes to pass. The unexpected now happens. Here's one of my personal favorites. I added this in my book, The Prophetic Ministry of the Four Winds. She says, the four winds of success now blow to me my own. From north, south, east, and west comes my endless good. Let's get into that together. The four winds of success now blow to me my own. From north, south, east, and west comes my endless good.
Notice that she said my own over and over again because it was always hers. That's what she's trying to let us understand through our thick skull, that your good is yours, your blessings are yours, that money is already yours, that health is already yours, that marriage is already yours. So it's just a remembrance that is yours. So call it right back to you. You know, they say, I posted something this morning. A lot of people hit me. A lot of people share it in their stories, by the way, and a lot of people kind of like hit me up on the DM, and I was talking to me about that. Some of them inquiring of why I said that scarcity mindset is a form of slavery. And I just have one thing to say: like you become a slave to your fear. You become a slave to your doubt. You become a slave to your lack of confidence, lack of self-worth, and you give in into scarcity. So, you know, in order to liberate yourself from that, the first thing is the remembrance that is your own, meaning you deserve it, meaning you belong, meaning it was always yours. That's big part of, you know, of tapping back into what belongs to you by birthright. It's yours by birthright. So yes, Prophet, sorry.
No, don't apologize. Don't apologize. And you know what? Let me lean into that for a moment. Let me lean into that right there. Some of you apologize way too much, and in doing so, you negate your affirmation. Either you're going to be affirmative or you're going to be apologetic, but you can't be both. I'll say that again. Either you're going to be affirmative or you are going to be apologetic, but you cannot be both. Now, why do I say that? I say that because when you shift your mind around your experience, once again, we're back at this. When you shift your mind around your perspective, your wording shifts. You stop becoming afraid or scared or ashamed or embarrassed for declaring what is yours. I'm not asking for anything that's not mine. That'd be a whole different situation. I'm only asking for what is mine, what is my own. Nothing more, nothing less, only what is mine.
Can we would it be appropriate to speak a little bit on the video that you sent me this morning?
Yes, that's I was heading to that. Yes. Go ahead.
Awesome. Because when we say I'm only asking for what is my own, but the only thing you familiarize as being your own is struggle and scarcity, that's what you keep calling to yourself. Because it's the only thing you're familiar with.
Let me give you an example.
So how do we shift that? How do we shift that?
So
how do we break that?
Well, this goes back to our lesson number 2, week number 2, right? Which was the power of gratitude. Gratitude is a paradigm shifting awareness. Gratitude is your pivot. Let me say that again. Gratitude is your pivot. So when you feel like you're about to say sorry, how can I restructure this in gratitude? How can I pivot this? Because whenever you go into I'm sorry, normally that comes from a place of shame, which is still scarcity. Right? So for example, I'm sorry I can't whatever. I'm sorry I can't do more. But instead of saying I'm sorry I can't do more, we pivot in gratitude and say thank you for understanding. Thank you for understanding I'm at capacity.
Yeah. When I'm running late, I'm like, for me, appreciate you waiting for me.
Yes. Instead of saying, I'm sorry I'm late. Well, thank you for waiting.
Yes. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for waiting. Yes. Or here's another one. I don't mean to be such a burden. I'm sorry I'm such a burden to you. Or forgive me for being a burden. Pivot in gratitude. Thank you for being supportive. So often depression comes about by an over focus and an over emphasis upon ourselves. We're overthinking about ourselves. Even when we say, I'm sorry, I can't do more, that's still egoic. That's still egocentric. Versus shifting into abundance consciousness through the door of gratitude. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for being supportive.
So would it be, let me not say would it be. So in order for us to shift it, right, to shift that mindset and that mentality, what if we say something like, I am grateful for the good that I'm yet to see, but I know it's coming. Because maybe we still have resistance and it might sound a little delusional for us to say, thank you for this and that when we don't see it. You know, it's kind of like, okay, now I'm lying to myself. And it might be a little conflicting for some people. So how about I am grateful for the good that I'm yet to see, but I know it's coming.
Or, and
Or and.
I am grateful for the good that is coming.
That's for I have to force myself. Kind of forcing yourself to. You better open your eyes, bitch.
Because
open your eyes and
because
see it, because it's there.
It's there and it's coming and it's on the way, and you're in eager expectation. And then here's the interesting thing. And why? Why are you saying thank you for your good that's coming? Why? Because it's possible.
Because I am
Because I'm Gracia. There you go. Exactly. Because I'm Gracia.
Yeah, because I am Gracia and I'm grateful. Okay.
All right. There is something to be said here about the power of abundance in consciousness. I sent Gracia something was it last night, this morning, whenever, and I didn't even know that you sent me that three hours ago. I was so disconnected. But the power of coming out of scarcity is so key. Let me give you an understanding. See, when you come from nothing, you become comfortable with nothing, having nothing. We get into the state of survival. Why? Because survival mode becomes a comfort zone because nothing more is required of you. Nothing more is expected of you. I'll never forget a man of God came to a meeting I was in. He did something so profound to me I want to share with you. He said, I'm going to tell you right here and now, it is God's will that you all be millionaires. He said, now before you all have an aneurysm on that, he said, you think God wants you to be a millionaire because of all the money. He says, but I believe God wants you to be a millionaire because of what it will make of you. In other words, there are certain characteristics, certain traits, certain attributes, certain behaviors, certain paradigms, certain philosophies that are absolutely essential to being a millionaire. To creating and keeping $1 million, there's a certain level of behavior, a certain way to look at life you must adopt for that. It's not just about the money, it's what it's going to make of you in pursuit of that, in the process of that. You see, this is scarcity mode. And when people are in scarcity, they don't think that it's so bad. Especially if it's all that they know. Everyone that they know is in scarcity. They're in survival mode. Everyone they know is in survival mode. Well, it can't be so bad. And this becomes a narrative. This becomes a script that plays over and over in the unconscious. And it projects itself outward in our experience. Because let me tell you something. Having more, better, and different takes you out of homeostasis. It takes you out of your comfort zone. Oh, it does. Because you can't be the same person and get different results. You got to be a different person. Your view has to change from the inside out. That's work. That's effort. It takes time. But I want to encourage you in this. In the same way how this was a mindset that was indoctrinated and reinforce over and over and over and over. This is why these Mondays are so powerful and so critical, and why I'm so grateful to Gracia for having a group, because you need positive reinforcement when you're making a change.
Yeah, we were all, I think I could speak for myself when I was conditioned to like seeing and watching my parents always like, oh, I'm sorry, like, because, you know, they were immigrants, obviously, and we always like were in fear. We always had to like apologize for everything because we didn't want to get snitched on, or, you know, we always, yeah, we were living in fear. So we thought we apologized, and we saw that, and now it's just we're conditioned, and now it's like trying to erase all of that takes time, and it's doable though, because it has to. We have to. We're all generational breakers at this point.
100%.
Yeah, a lot of one of the biggest thing that I've encountered with a lot of my clients, especially the immigrants, they have to work a lot with the throat chakra, because, you know, they meant to, like, we made to be quiet, shut up, especially if you don't have papers, because you can get in trouble. You get in trouble, you get deported, you get you lose the opportunity of being in this country and thriving. So be quiet, don't get in trouble, shut up, and put your head down. Keep your head down. So it's a
I
lot of
see Milady says, just talk about it. Sorry in etymology. I feel like everybody's gonna come etymology at the end of these sessions. Like, I'm checking what these words mean and why they mean that. Is it talk about sorry in etymology? It means sorrow. That's what I was about to say. Thank you for bringing this up. Because here's what's interesting. These words are in scarcity mind. And what does scarcity mind do? It wastes, it dries up, it dissipates, right? It pulls, it leaches. And we think that we are rectifying the scales when we say, I'm sorry. But actually, you are putting that person in deeper deficit. You're really not giving them anything worthwhile. You've not given them any kind of advantage, because now they have sorrow now added. Now they're going to feel a little bit even more guilty, right? So how do we bless ourselves and them, which is always the abundant mind? Abundance wants to bless you and everyone else around you. God told Abraham, behold, I will bless you and I will make you a blessing. When we say thank you, this is giving something to the person. When someone looks you in your eye and gives you a genuine thank you, doesn't that just light your whole day up? That you just feel a surge through you. And it's just 2 words, but so is I'm sorry. And they produce 2 polar opposite energy experiences. One is taxing and sapping of energy. I'm sorry. It's sapping you and sapping them. You're in shame, they're in guilt. Or the other set of 2 words, thank you. That puts you in gratitude and them in appreciation. Yes and yes. Wow. Wow. What would you like to share, Gracia? I'm turning it over.
no, I mean, come on, this is remarkable, transformational, groundbreaking, unique.
It's a whole lot of things. Like I'm just extremely grateful that I am able to, you know, to provide this space for these classes to take place. Like it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to see. It's a beautiful thing to watch, to see the girls' growth and how they, you know, how their life has been transformed, and what's to come. It's way more on where that comes from, you know. And I want to thank you for taking out of, you know, your time every week to be here with us. That, you know, that means a lot to all of us. We just want to let you know. It means a whole lot. So, um, Denise, can you please share again the link for that audiobook? Because there is some people that are here that wasn't here earlier, so that they can listen to it either today, tomorrow, you know, whenever they have um a chance. Thank you so
So,
much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
so quick question, like, so when we make a mistake, are we, and we want to say like, sorry, I'm sorry, is that the only time we use it? Or like when we want to apologize to our kids for certain things, or to our parents or sisters?
One more time. You said something. You said a
Um,
mistake. We make a mistake.
yeah, I'm not really getting the question.
So let's say like if you wanna, like when you're having, you do have, like, you want to take accountability, but I think sometimes most of the time, like my daughter, she likes to hear me say I'm sorry. I shouldn't say I'm sorry for like hurting her, or how would I word it instead?
So I would say this. What would you say after you said if you're apologizing to someone, right? And you're gonna start off by saying I'm sorry. What would you say after I'm sorry? I'd begin there.
Oh, like I'm sorry for saying or calling you this
Right.
word. Okay.
I was wrong for doing this. This is what
Oh, okay.
happened, etc. Right? We just,
Mhm.
we say a lot of things and it's kind of to skirt and kind of to skate, right? We've one of the reasons why our words have become so weak over time is because we layer them up with stuff that really has no gives us no advantage, right? It's counterproductive. And so we just start off by saying, listen, thank you for taking the time to hear me out on this. I want you to know that I appreciate you, and I haven't been showing you that in these particular ways. I was wrong, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And here's the thing. Here's the other thing I tell people. Because here, when we talk about I'm sorry, we talk about apology, and I know I'm getting kind of getting on a little tangent here, but it's a soft spot for me. Whenever someone comes to me and says, or they say to me, I'm sorry, my response is always enough to, and they look at me like, huh? And I said, uh-huh. Then you're not sorry. I'm not speaking about you in this case. I'm speaking for the collective, um, the collective. I have a piece I may share one of these days about the 8 signs of repentance. And so when someone, boyfriend, girlfriend, friend, family, colleague, whatever, says to you, I'm sorry, as if that's going to move this over or move this under or whatever, my response is always, you are sorry enough to What?
Yeah, I feel like, and I'm chiming in here. Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Take it
Oh,
away.
okay. So I'm chiming in here because it makes a lot of sense. You're sorry enough too, because you can say I'm sorry till now, from now till sun comes out, all night long. You can say I'm sorry, but are you really though? Where are your actions to prove that you're really sorry? So to me, apology is not. A lot of the times, people just want to hear the sorry, and it's just because of their ego. It's actually because something got triggered, their inner child, whatever it is, got triggered in the process of, whatever happened. So they need to hear those words. But I believe that action is more necessary than those two words. You can tell me I'm sorry, I'm still not feeling, or not do anything to change, whatever it is that you did. So I rather see change behavior versus words. What am I gonna do with your words? You know? So that's kind of like the way I see it.
I think that's powerful because it opens up space for, are we looking for sorry? We aren't look See, when we talk about sorry, this is the other thing. This is a discussion about fault, right? Who is to blame, who is at fault, versus who is responsible and who is going to take responsibility. And what that looks like is, if it is an error on my part, a moral failing on my part, etc., I am sorry enough to what, make restitutions, for example. I'm sorry enough to pay you back the money that I didn't, whatever. I'm sorry enough to tell you and prove to you this is never going to happen again, because I'm putting this and this and this and this in place, so it will never happen again. We're really looking more for what's more beneficial and what's more advantageous is to identify accountability and responsibility, right? That's in line with one's integrity. And not only as we are giving up, because we are going to make mistakes. I love the saying that there are no mistakes, only clues. There are no
Powerful.
mistakes, only clues. This has clued me into something, right? If something you said to your daughter, or something you said to someone at work, it clued you into something. I didn't even know that was in me. I didn't really know I felt that kind of way. I didn't really know I was that stressed to say that to you. I thought I wasn't, but apparently I am. This is giving me a clue. And thank you for giving me and allowing me space, being patient with me to navigate this and do better. And here are some of the ways I plan to do better. Do you have any suggestions?
Yeah, something as simple as, what can I do to make it better? Let them tell you what they desire, so you don't have to guess.
Exactly.
What can I do to make you feel better about such and such situation?
Or rectify, or balance, or absolve, atone, etc. Right? Not just to make you feel better. How can I make this right?
Can I add something in there as well?
Everybody needs to be adding, yes.
Something else is also, there's an impact, right? There's an impact on the other person whenever we make a mistake or we do something that we know we shouldn't have done. And another way to show how you are really there to rectify things is to ask the other person, what was the impact on you? Because we might imagine what the impact was, but we really don't know. The only person who knows was the person who was impacted. And we can also share how it impacted us. Like, I realized, oh my God, this is what I did. And then I just, I realized that why the hell did I do that? And I kept going in my head, wondering why. And then I wondered, wait a minute, but then what was the impact on you?
Or I didn't know it was, I didn't know it was that serious, because sometimes I be doing stuff and I don't know it's just so serious for do the other person. I'm like, why are you tripping? Like,
yes.
But I have to acknowledge how other people feel, even though in my mind it might not be such a big deal.
Exactly.
Because not everybody receives or process information the same. So yes and yes. Ooh, this was good. This was
Thank you,
good.
Oh, it's
for that.
getting
Thank you so much.
it's getting rich. Anyone else want to share? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for opening up the door of conversation. Thank you for sharing that powerfully. Anyone else want to comment, share what's stirring up in you? Was something that has been said tonight that is still pressing and impressing itself upon you? What are some of your takeaways tonight?
I have to process the resistance, because I found myself with a whole lot of intrusive thoughts way too often. And so it's like, but you deserve it. You deserve it. That's your good that's coming your way. So it's like, why are you resisting it in that manner? Right? So that's my thing about tonight's class.
Well, what my takeaway was, the dictionary that I found was my daughter's in 4th grade. And I even have some words there that I was trying to memorize and repeat, like not get that mixed up. So thank you for bringing me back to like you said, sharpen our vocabulary, and because it is important. Our word is our wand. It's important how we speak, and it makes me feel like, okay, I need to get more educated.
Let me mute myself. Wait, just a second, guys. I need to mute myself for a second.
Hold on, Kim. Kim, you're in the matrix. You're in the matrix.
And I busted out the encyclopedias that were here. That's good to know. So I definitely appreciate that.
Do you mind repeating what you said? This is breaking up a little bit, at least for me.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. I'm not sorry about that. Thanks for your patience. I had to catch myself.
Lovely, lovely.
I was just saying it made me think bigger, because I use the encyclopedias that I've had here that are just collecting dust, instead of using them on a regular basis to expand that vocabulary and getting different meanings of words and different words. So I really
Oh my
appreciate
goodness.
that.
You are one word away from another world. One. This is just as you can't be the same person and get different results. Well, that's a word. That definitely is a word. Milady says, sorry, didn't do it. Listen, I love that. I'm sorry. Your name is not sorry. Your name sorry was the one who did this. You did this. Anyone else?
Yeah, I want to say thank you, because you really opened up my mind to a whole new way of, operating within this world. And I want to just say I've witnessed some miracles lately that are beyond me, because I don't even know how to explain that. I can explain them, but I'm just happy to see them coming in. And I'll explain one thing that happened recently. A friend came to me a few days ago saying that they've been struggling looking for work and they can't find anything that's good for them, that, you know, works within their parameters of life. So I just said a few small words to them. I just said, look, don't chase what you're looking for, just attract it. You know? And we spoke a little bit about meditating on it later on that day. But, you know, things fell through, so we didn't get to meditate on it together. So what happened the next day? Well, today, about 11:01 p.m., a.m., I just thought to myself, let me just send a message. You know, let me speak to somebody like within my spiritual team. And I asked them to just send a message to this person. You know, and I said to the spiritual team, like, I want a response at 11:11. You know, lo and behold, at 11:11, my friend messages me and says, wow, like, I can't believe what just happened. I just got off the phone to somebody from offering me a job, and it was a perfect thing, a perfect job for me. You know, it was the most work on it. It's just a simple thought brought into existence. The most perfect opportunity for that person at that time. You know, something that works around their kids, their lifestyle, and all of that. So, you know, that miracle, then just a connection, just to be able to sit there and say, look, spirit, I want you to send a message and just do something, just work your magic. And it just came back within no time. Within 10 minutes of asking, it happened.
Beautiful.
So that's my testimonial. That's what I want to say.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That's powerful. You know what? These classes had given me permission, for lack of a better word. Remember, I'm working with my second language here. These classes have given me permission to be delusional, to believe that, yes, I do deserve a better life. I can create a better life for me, for my children, to taste and approve the good, you know, that's here, that's happening with me, that it's okay for me to accept help from other people and not get it, which is a struggle because let me not say it's a struggle. I'm creating a healthier relationship with accepting help. And because I be thinking, then I gotta say thank you to this motherfucker. I'm gonna get it myself. So I don't have to say thank you to nobody. But that's their old paradigm. That's their old me, you know, and it's you know, it's like, okay, I'm creating a better relationship with accepting help. I'm creating a better relationship with welcoming avenues and support, creating a better relationship with, you know, allowing, just like Florence Scovel said, understanding that every man is a golden link in the chain of my good.
Yes, I love that line. Every man. I like to say every place, every space,
every space, every person.
Yes.
They're just a golden link in the chain of my good. I have to tell that to myself daily.
Wonderful. Anyone else?
One thing that I do, and don't look at yourself as being somebody. All right, so when I'm in front of people and I'm speaking, I catch myself in a moment and I correct myself in a moment. And people look at me like, what is wrong with her? And I'm like, yes, I do so for myself. And I like to do that to be an example as well, to let people know that, yes, I'm working on my vocabulary, but I also want you to work with me. Because if you're around me, like you had said last week, if you're around me, then we're here to support each other to shift our vocabulary. So I use this cancel, clear, reset. When I say something that doesn't fit my vocabulary, and I say, hold on, cancel, clear, reset, and then I say a positive
affirmation.
I love it.
That's beautiful. Let me stop the recording, right?